Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Ruin here, back with another Borderlands 3 build video, and today I'll be going over my launcher Zane build called ZaBOOMafoo. This build focuses purely on launchers and all launchers, which includes Hustler Racer friendly launchers. We also have a ton of different gear choices to make this a bit more flexible. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The save file will be found in my Discord, which is linked down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, and for the gear here, of course, we have launchers, all launchers, so many launchers. And what you're going to want on these launchers is AC Splash. Splash damage is just a huge multiplier to your damage, so it's super useful to have, and all of these launchers deal splash damage. First off, we have the Kick Charger. This is one of the highest dealing damage items in the game. The Major Kong can hit higher damage, but Kick Charger is a lot easier to use, especially for one-shots, where Major Kong is a lot stronger, but can be a bit harder to hit the crit shots for one-shots. Then we have the Mongol. Mongol's just really fun because it spawns a bunch of projectiles, kind of just clear a whole little area. Super satisfying to watch. And then we have the Plaguebearer. Everyone knows the Plaguebearer is just super strong with its spawning projectiles and homing. So this is one of the go-to. Same with the Hive, really strong and spawns a projectile that spawns a bunch of other projectiles, making it super good for mobbing. And then I do have some lobs here. It's just an alternative item for fun that can be used. You do not want AC Splash because only the explosion is splash damage, where most of the lob's damage is when it passes through enemies and not the explosion. I don't really use it much though, they're just kind of sitting here now. Then again, we have the Major Kong. This is the highest dealing damage weapon in the game. It has like a huge Moltwind charge, all really good. Then we have the Plumage. It hits like 1,000,000 damage, card damage, when you add up all the pellets together, so that's really crazy. And it's also really fun for rocket jumping. Then we have the Rocket Pod. I really like using this with Hustler as it just keeps making new projectiles, and it has the on kill. Add one pellet to one shot to the burst fire count at no ammo cost. So it just becomes really cool just shooting a bunch, and that resets after killing a badass or boss. So not really a bossing gun, but it is really fun for mob. Then we have the Globetrotter. This is insane with Hustler Racer. In my opinion, it probably is the best one-shot gun for a racer. I haven't experimented much, but when I did use Globetrotter, it was very easy to hit high damage with its multiple spawning projectiles. And then I have the Yellow Cake here. You could use this for regular launcher stuff. Same with Globetrotter, but it really goes good with Hustler Racer stuff. Same with the Nukem. It'll spawn new projectiles that'll have the huge splash radius, just going even crazier. Then we have the Ruby's Wrath, which is kind of just a worse plumage, but still really good. It has a super high base damage. Then we have the Freeman. This is insane with Hustler Racer. It has a projectile that you move with your cursor, and then if it crits an enemy with the Racer, it goes past them, and then you can still control that projectile. And I like to hit it through an enemy and then hit it to the ground, and that increased double dipping splash radius will just kill a bunch of enemies around them. You can still go after another enemy, but I really find hitting the ground super fun with the pierce projectile. I have the Scourge here mainly just because it's basically the Plaguebearer, but you can have it for lower mayhems when you're building up. So this is just still really good. Then we have the Rhina. This is Radiation. It's basically a legendary lump. It's very fun to use. Then we have Backburners, which are really good for bossing. It does deal self damage, so you want to keep out for that. The Tunguska is very, very fun with Hustler Racer. It respawns those rocket projectiles when in sticky mode, so it's very cool to use here. And then it increases the splash radius just to be even better. Then we have some Kick Chargers here, good one-shot guns as I went over. Then I have the Jericho. This weapon was fixed, so you no longer deal self-damage to yourself with the Jericho. You still deal splash damage to yourself, but since Zane has splash immunity, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's super fun with Hustler Racer. It spawns multiple projectiles, kind of like the rocket pod, so it's super fun there. In general, I like to go corrosive weapons since a lot of bosses have corrosive bars, but you mainly want to element match in bossing, and mobbing usually doesn't matter as much since we're dealing so much damage. Now there are a couple of shields we can use. First thing we have is the Revolter. This is mainly used for the triple absorb part, which you can get on a purple shield or the old god, but having the extra 200% shock bonus element is a nice plus. This is really good for keeping up your ammo. You can shoot yourself in the foot with the Plaguebearer. It doesn't have the best dot, so when it dots you, it won't be killing you like other items would. And then we also have the one-shotter. This is good for multi-pellet launchers for that 100% amp. Otherwise, you'd want to use an Infernal Wish because it gives 50% amp as well as an extra projectile when your shield is not depleted. So it's just an even stronger version if you have low projectile count. Then we have the red suit with the 2 amp parts. This is used for when using radiation stuff. It just kind of helps with the immunity. It's possible to be fine without it, but sometimes it can be very difficult. Then I have the transformer. Same thing as the red suit. It's just good for like shock weapons, and it also has the absorb part, which is nice as well. Then I have the Frozen Heart, just really good for freezing enemies. I don't use it too much anymore, but still nice. And then I have the Stinger. This is really nice when paired with a Cut Purse artifact to easily get your ammo back as well. You'll notice I have for the Nova Shields is Action Skill Start, while with other ones I have ASE Terra Apply. This is for using Terror Anointments for the V1 damage. Since we're not shooting a bunch, we don't have V1 damage anywhere besides like 1 in Cook a Combo. So you have like 2% V1, and we don't really use a Snowdrift Victory Rush, so the Victory Rush V1 isn't gonna help since we're not using it. We're using a Toboggan mainly. That's where that V1 damage comes in hand. And since we're at the grenades here, I like to use the It's Piss. It's just a good debuff. You could also have a Mesmer for good crowd control, or you could have a Fish Slap for Cut Purse. Now we do have Clone throwing grenades, but it's mainly for if we throw grenades here, which won't happen often. You could change some points from Donnybrook to Duct Tape mod to have it happen more, but it still is possible there. And then I like to have ASC Radiation for explosions when I'm using like Action Skill Start. And then I also like having the Terror Damage Fire Rate, as I said, for the V1. Alright, and for the class mods, there's a bunch of class mods you can use. Basically, any good Zane class mod is good here. I like to use mainly the Anti-Freeze for the normal shooting gun launchers, nothing special with Eraser or Infiltrator. You can use to break shields that you want, like the Revolter, but then it's kind of weird with Absorb because you can't absorb when you have no shield. So it does make that a little funky. That's the main reason I'd use that there. So I don't use Infiltrator that much. And then we have the Hustler. This is for Hustler Racer stuff. Passives don't matter much, but I do like Brain Freeze here. It's just kind of nice, but not needed. And then up here for Anti-Freeze and Infiltrator, you want to get as many Violent Momentum points as possible. And the Spy is nothing really special, but it has good cooldown and V2 damage, which can be nice, especially if you're going to use a Nova Shield. Having that cooldown can be pretty nice. And then Executor is fun, but you aren't critting too often, and it's hard to crit with a bunch of these launchers, so Executor isn't as good here, but still nice. But the main ones you're going to be using are the Anti-Freeze and Hustler. The passives you're going to want to look out for is Heavy Weapon Damage, Splash Damage, and Splash Damage Radius. I'd mainly look for the Heavy Weapon Damage and then probably like Splash Damage Radius, especially for the Hustler, of course. We do have Splash Damage elsewhere, 125 here and 55% here, so Splash Damage is less needed here, but still useful. Artifacts, I use the Toboggan mainly. This is for the 100% amp damage, which is insane. Basically doubles your damage there. And then you're gonna want to look out for area of effect damage and heavy weapon damage. You could also get mag size, but then you can't get heavy weapon damage because of how it works. Same with elemental damage, it's just all weird stuff with the toboggan passives. And then I like having action skill cooldown rate instead of like movement speed, because those are the two good third passives. It's harder to slide when you have too much movement speed, so having even more movement speed just makes it tougher. So the action skill cooldown rate is just pretty nice. Mainly look out for the heavy weapon damage and then area of effect damage in the second or third slot. For Hustler weapons, you do want to make sure you do have splash radius in the slots. So the splash radius is the artifact in the second or third slot. And then I also have a cut purse launch pad and cut purse victory rush. This is nice for ammo hungry weapons if you don't want to go absorb and you want to have like an amp shield. It's very nice to have here. Some content you don't even need to have any absorb or regain of ammo. You can just clear fast enough and get ammo and get a vendor, but it all just depends. And then Snowdrift is just kind of like the pre-toboggan option. Slide fast and go, but still very good. Heavy weapon damage, mag size, area effect damage, as well as elemental damage is all really good there. Same with this cut purse stuff. Then for the skill tree, we have the basic launcher, high damage pellet setup, violent momentum with violent speed for the high gun damage. Then we have cold bore for the 200% bonus element, which is huge. Salvation for the lifesteal, seeing red for activating our kill skills. Then we have cool hand for the fast reload speed. Don't need violent violence since we're not doing high fire rate stuff. Playing dirty, you only need like 1 or 2 points here because of activating our kill skills. We'll have next 5 shots guaranteed an extra projectile, and so all these slow firing shots don't really shoot much to where we need to get our kill skill back up a lot, so we're constantly playing dirty up 100% of the time. Then only 1 point in good misfortune is needed to keep clone up, and then death falls close to increase our kill skill bonuses, which is really good for violent momentum because it buffs violent momentum for some reason as well. It gets like counts as a kill skill, but you don't need a kill to use it. And then I really like using clone here for aggro draw. Really nice option here. While having amp shields, you can draw aggro there. Premium units for mag size, borrowed time for action skill duration, duct take mob for splash immunity, which is huge with this because all the splash damage, and allows us to do the revolter absorb trick. I have Donnybrook mainly for the health regen for clone to keep it up, fractal frag so clone can throw grenades, quick breather to charge our shields and clone restore health, great for survivability. Old U for blowing up clone when we're fight for your life, easy way to get out of fight for your life. Supersonic Man for move speed for more violent momentum damage. Pocket full of grenades for boom enhance because boom enhance consumes grenades. We need a way to consume grenades so boom enhance stays up. And boom enhance here is purely for better survivability with the max health and the clone duration. The other stuff don't really matter as much, but I really like this when I really want to use clone and also not have to pay attention as much. Going boom enhance is very useful. Nothing in green tree. You could move stuff around and not go clone and instead do barrier stuff, but you also got to go pretty deep in my opinion to get good barrier stuff going to go with amp shields. Both barrier and clone can be good for keeping up amp shields, but Digiclone draws ammo, which is what I like a lot. And then for the purple tree, we go down to Hustler, pretty basic skill tree. Deja Vu for consuming ammo on crit hit. This mainly works out well with Hustler Racer, but you can still crit with other launchers, with normal launcher stuff. Commitment mainly for the cooldown. Headsman's Hands for crit damage when we do crit. Fugitive for sprinting and shooting. Mana Focus here is for the accuracy and handling, which is nice for some launcher, so I give it up instead of Domino Effect, which the reload speed is really nice, but we have plenty of reload speed and other ways of refilling our magazine. Then I go Eraser for the Hustler Eraser stuff with the increased double dipping damage. And then for Mantis, I go Proliferation for the extra charge, and then Colder Shoulder just because no real reason. You could go No Way Out, but pulling an enemy towards you and with slash weapons doesn't go well too often, but it can be nice for bossing if you want to do that. And then for clone, I like to use Shardenfeud. This is mainly for amp shields, good way to keep it up. You could go which one's real for better clone aggro, but it draws plenty of aggro already, so having this is really nice, and I really like Shardenfeud for that. And then I have Doppelbanger just so I can blow up clone if I need to reposition him somewhere else and I'm already far away from him, so it's just good to have here. I hope you guys enjoyed the build video. I have a couple builds with launchers, but this just focuses more on launchers than other things to become a pure launcher build. It's super fun using a mix of regular launchers and Hustler Racer specific launchers. Launchers are just super powerful, and using all the good ones in one build is super fun. Again, you can find the save file in my Discord, which is linked down below, as well as my other socials. If you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.